Hey guys, welcome back. We've got another hot, highly requested item to review today. It is the Bachmann HO scale GG1. This has sound value installed in it. That is a SoundTraxx decoder with limited functions, but it does produce sound. It is also DC and DCC compatible, so you can run it either way. This particular model is of a prototype that's in the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. It's 4935, a Pennsylvania GG1 that's been well preserved over there. So let's take a look at what you get from an MSRP of $299 even. So here you have the classic red box for Bachmann DCC sound value locomotives with the clear window on front. I usually tell you guys that I unbox for the first time. In this case, I'm actually unboxing for the second time because it had been sitting here for a week and I just got too anxious. So this will actually be the second unboxing of this locomotive. But I put everything back the way it was, and on the first unboxing I didn't have any broken parts or anything, or you guys would know about it. So here in the actual box you've got quite a bit of documentation. We'll just go over that really briefly and quick. You've got basically a little statement saying that it's NMRA compliant, has 28 speed step controller, decoder. It's DC, DCC, it talks about some function stuff. And then on the back you've got the exploded parts diagram, which you can see here. Also, other things in the box are a notice talking about it complies with emission regulations, a 1-year Bachmann warranty, which basically will cover your product, and a mail-in for that warranty. Then you've also got a little flyer where you can buy a magazine from Bachmann Williams. It's a full color combined Bachmann Williams catalog for like $11 or $12 Canadian. Then of course the most important document in my opinion is the quick start guide, which will tell us what we're going to be doing with this locomotive, what features it has. It gives you a good idea of how many functions it has and things like that. Now let's go ahead and get it unboxed. We've got some ladders attached here that you can install. So, well, I don't know what those are actually. Now, as with most reviews that are out of my era, you're going to have to kind of fend for yourself on some of the nomenclature, i.e. the names of things, and some of the other details. But let's go ahead and take a look at the details of this locomotive. Now, you've got some articulated individually moving trucks on the front here, as you see, and then this whole body moves as an assembly as well. We've got it sitting down on this white thick board so that you can better see against the trucks against the whiteboard, but versus the blackboard here where there's grade crossings, because I did have some complaints about that. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this locomotive and go over some details, and then we'll get to operation. Starting at one end of the locomotive, we'll just start with the nose here. You've got the Headlight, Pennsylvania Railroad logo is nicely done. You've got some ladders or climbing areas here that are molded onto the body. You've got a coupler cut lever here that is black with the body, a stairway to enter or go up to this platform here, this very small platform that is smooth. You've also got the plastic Bachmann couplers, which are, I think, easy mate with a magnetic trip pin. These classification lights here are non-functioning. They're painted to a white, and the road number, which in this case is 4935, is printed just to the right of those, or the left if you're looking at the other side. You've got your nice Pennsylvania print here of the stripes and the little stripe here. And then you've obviously, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see we've got operating pantographs. Now these basically, I'm going to change views and zoom in so you can see how these operate a little better. But they do not operate off of decoder functions, but they're manual operation and spring loaded. Let's take a closer look at those. Taking a closer look at the pantographs here, you've got these little clips that you basically unhook And there you have the operating pantograph. As you see there, it's spring loaded, so it just pops right up. And you can do that on both of these. And this is a nice durable metal with nice springs here. Bachmann did a good job on that, and it just clicks back into place like that pretty easily, no problem. You may, I almost have to raise this again in order to see it, but you should notice the horn right here is also present, and that's just a single horn, accurate for the prototype on these GG1s. So I'll go ahead and press this back down. We're going to go ahead and take a closer look at the window here. Before we zoom in the window, you can see the nice truck detail. Bachmann did a nice job with all of the trucks here. You got the larger wheels and the smaller wheels up front, but you've got some nice detail on the trucks, and they handle curves pretty well. I had no problems running them on my 27-inch curve or my 30-inch curve, so I'm not sure what the minimum operating radius is, but they worked fine on those two. You may have to do a little more research to see what the minimum operating radius is, but they seem to turn quite a bit. So as you can see here, let me zoom out, you've got quite a bit of turning radius available each way. So I mean, it looks like it might handle 18 or 20 without any problems. So we'll go ahead and set this back down, zoom in here on the window. As we zoom in on the window, you can see some of the truck detail. Now these windows have metal cages, I call them window cages. They're actual metal pieces that are going across here. Reminds me of like a house in a bad neighborhood or something with the cages over the windows. So what you've got is these two pieces going across this way are metal, and they are installed separately. And then the other way is plastic, and it's molded in to the body, I think, or part of the window assembly, which is a plastic window. You've also got windows here and some ladder going all the way up to where you would get into the cab at. And as I zoom back out, you can see that ladder and some of the roof detail as well. Now, this being a completely even model, you're going to have the same thing on the other side that we just mentioned. Everything we talked about on one side is the other side. Basically, there is no difference on either side. It looks completely the same to me. Now, I'm not completely up on the prototype, so there could be some differences, but it's nothing that I'm seeing on this locomotive. So I'm not going to repeat myself as we go to this other side, but you can see it's got all the same detail. So let's go ahead and move directly into operation. Real quickly, I just want to show you the headlight and what it looks like. It's kind of a dim, appears to be LED headlight with a heavy lens on it that kind of makes it reflective, but it's visible in this video a little brighter than it actually is, but it's not bad. I mean, you can tell it's on. I just wanted to give you a direct view of what the headlight looks like. The other side is the exact same, like I mentioned earlier, but that's just an example. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to other operation. Now when you apply track power, what you have is no sounds kicking on or anything, because this is an electric locomotive. There are some sounds that you can turn on with functions. We'll get to that in a second. But these locomotives in real life, the prototypes, were kind of deadly, and they were regarded as deadly because they were so quiet and they could kind of sneak up on you without a horn or a bell. So let's go ahead and move this locomotive at 128 speed steps. I'm going to go to 1. And at 1 you see it moves along very slowly and doesn't have much jerking at all. And I think some of that jerking is attributed to my grade crossing because it's not exactly even. But there's 1. We'll go ahead and move to 2, and now you're completely jerk free. Well, almost. Had one little step there. So that was just 2 speed steps, and it's crawling along nicely. So it's also got a very quiet drive. I'm going to go ahead and reverse directions and come back. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now that right there is 6 speed steps. And as it rounds the corner back there, can see all the way up to 128. Had a slight bit of momentum going, programmed in it. It looks like it doesn't stop on a dime, but it does roll to a stop pretty quickly. Stopping distance is usually about a couple feet. So that shows you the operation without any sounds. Let's go ahead and cover some of the features, functions of this locomotive. We got the headlight, which is F0. F1 is bell. Now you guys be the judge and jury on whether these sounds are prototypical, because you GG1 fans would know. Everything I could find on the internet didn't really give me any bell examples except for a hand-rung bell, so it's up to you. But here's the bell. The longhorn. I really like the sound of that. It's got kind of an echo and it lightens off at the end. Here's the short horn. So those are just a couple of the sounds. Now we've got some other sounds I'll try to go through. Now the longhorn's F2 and the short horn's F3. Well, F1 is the bell, obviously. F4 is steam release, and I believe these have some steam capabilities to them. So I just turn that back off. F5. Doesn't say what F5 is in here. You guys that know the prototype very well could probably talk to my viewers and tell them, or know for yourselves. F6. F6 is obviously the horn, the engine running. Probably when it's not on electricity or whatever. 7 is the dimmer for the headlight, which doesn't appear to do anything on this model here. Oh wait, I got it in the wrong direction. Let me see here. Oh, yep, makes the headlight brighter or dimmer. So that works just fine, and F8 is mute to mute all the sounds. Go ahead and weigh this so you know what you're getting in this beefy locomotive. Wow, 20.8 ounces. That is a nicely weighted locomotive. 1 pound, 4.8 ounces, or 0.589 kilograms, 589 grams is what all that converts out to. 20.8 ounces, wow. Nice heavy locomotive, great pulling power. This thing has some nice weight to it, so let's go ahead and equate that to pulling power and see what this thing will pull. Shows 2.8 ounces on the pull tester. Just to give you a comparison, a MTH SD70 ACE, which is the heaviest thing I have, pulls around the same, around 3.0, so that's pretty good. The thing has really good weight, so it's pretty good pull test on this, which means it can pull quite a bit. Before we recap this review, there's one thing I want to mention. I did try to get this locomotive to operate on smaller radius, and I was able to get it to operate on an 18-inch radius without coming off. It looked like it was about to, but it did operate. Just to be safe, I might go to 20 or 22-inch radiuses, but it did operate on my 18-inch radius, just so you know. Now, for an MSRP of $299, I think this locomotive is a good deal because Bachmann is heavy on discounts with their retailers. You get bigger discounts than other retailers a lot of times, or other manufacturers a lot of times. Bachmann usually has deeper discounts than the other manufacturers. What does that mean to you? You can pick up this locomotive for $159 to $199. Matter of fact, trainworldonline.com has them for $159 with sound. There's also a $209 MSRP on the non-sound units, which will get you the discounts, down in the low 100s. So you've got a lot of options for this locomotive. Now let's look at the competition. Other manufacturers have made this GG1. They're priced $300 to $400. that means you're saving a significant amount of coin by going with this locomotive that's hanging with them on details, operation, and sound. You know, you have a little bit of limitations in the decoder, but you've got good operations. It's smooth. You saw the big weigh-in it had, and it pulls a significant amount. So it's a great locomotive for the price. Now again, anything under that price of around $200, I say, is a really good deal. But even then, you're competing with $300 and $400 locomotives, so you're saving a significant amount of money either way. That's about my thoughts on this locomotive. I was gonna not even keep this, but I like it so much I'll be keeping it, especially since it's in a railroad museum in Pennsylvania. So I'll be keeping this locomotive, and it's pretty cool because I was pleasantly surprised with its operation and its sound. So those are my thoughts, you guys. You have your own thoughts and opinions based on the 1080p HD and the Dolby Digital Surround Sound. Thanks for watching. We've got a lot more exciting videos to come up this summer and fall, all throughout the year, with reviews. We're going to get out of the basement and go on some trips. We're going to do a lot of exciting stuff and a lot of variety here on the channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.